Namaskaram. When Shobha asked me to come and be a part of this evening's program, I wondered what I was going to be when there are such learned people around here. And apart from the fact that I do know a little bit of Dr. Shashi Kumar's work and his interests, because that is what really interests me, what people think of. And as I read this book, I deal with children every day. It is a part of not only my dance world, as Shobha said, but I work in the field of social development. And I have discovered that if we want to make a change in society for the future, for our children, we have to start with the children. And yet we are all so busy living our own lives or trying to make lives easier for our children that we forget that there is something that they need more than just being provided for, more than a house, more than a good school to go to. They need good words. They need values. Unfortunately, a lot of us want to give our children those values, but we don't know how to. Not everybody has a way with words. Not everybody can talk well. We very often don't even listen to the questions that our children ask us because we don't have the answers for them. As everybody has been saying this evening, Orkut is something that I have very consciously stayed away from. I have always thought, it is, as we heard earlier, that it is a site where people hang out details of their lives and anybody can look in. It's like being in a public window, and I'm not comfortable with that idea. And I don't think children should do that, and that's exactly what I've been telling my students, my friends, my colleagues who I see on the Orkut. And I say, listen, that is bad. Turn that off. Get on to something else. Get into a closed chat group. I'm not very knowledgeable in the computer world, but this was my idea about Orkut. The thing that struck me most about Life Made Simple was that Dr. Shashi Kumar took this platform that children consider their own, youngsters with questions, and he found a way of turning this very public domain into a very private, intense discussion. If you have, a lot of you are part of that book, a lot of you must have read it, and anybody who has spoken with DrTPS will know that when he talks, it feels as if he's talking to you and you alone. And I'm sure those who were in the Orkut group also felt that way. And being able to turn their questions into very easily understood answers is an amazing gift, because not everybody can talk to people. Not everybody can make themselves understood. And sometimes people don't ask questions because they are worried that they'll be made fun of or somebody will dismiss them. Dr. Shashi Kumar has not done that with even one question. Every question, every comment that is there in the book has been dealt with. There is an answer, there is a way. In the earlier days, and a lot of that has also been said, in the earlier days, there were people who would guide us, or we had the Shastras to guide us, and it was incumbent on everybody to read it. Today, nobody has the time. Very few people have the knowledge. To have a book like this, where it's like a Nitya Puja Vidhanam. You open it up, every day you look at something. It gives you, if nothing else, it gives you something to think about. Something to take away, somebody's experience, somebody's words. And it is something that even the most hip and happening child in the schools or in the colleges today would not mind carrying around, because it is from Orkut, remember? It is the place to be. So this combination of traditional knowledge and an open, down-to-earth, new technology, and the fact that most of his interactions are with youngsters who have questions that they are not afraid to ask of him, is an amazing facet of this book. There's very little, as in his foreword itself he has said that he's not tried to answer the questions, he has not tried to deal with everything, but he has tried to make a presentation of whatever came up in the discussion or tried to give a direction. And I think that is what is required today, to be able to give youngsters things to think about, little nuggets they can take away. And as somebody who knows that it is very rarely that children go wrong if they have value systems, the fact that there is something that we can ask our children to read, that we can ask our friends to read and say, look, don't worry. If you're feeling sad, look at this page. If you're feeling confused, look at that page. If you have a question about your mortality, if you have a question about time, if you have a question about what is friendship, anything, some page, some line in this book will in some manner address that fact. Really am not qualified to stand here and speak because I neither have the knowledge that DrTPS has, nor the knowledge that any of our eminent guests today do. But I'm deeply privileged to be here, to be even able to speak about this because I, as I said in the beginning, deal with children and young people. And I deal with trying to create attitudinal changes or behavioral changes. And to see that there are people who are completely not connected with this field, but have that much capacity to give us things that we can use as tools in the field, makes me feel very, very proud that we have a group always around us. And if we just delve a little bit deeper, and that is also something that has been dealt with in the book, look beyond what is evident. Look at what the person is inside. And you will find, like the onion, many layers. And in the onion, we don't throw away any of the layers. We keep them all. And they're all necessary. And it's the same way that you look for the layers in the people who are around you. And that is something that Life Made Simple teaches you. And I think that's a wonderful gift that DrTPS has given us. And I must thank Shobha for bringing me into the contact with him. Because apart from everything else, my dancer choreographer's mind keeps plugging into his head to take out more ideas, more thoughts, new dimensions that I can put in. I keep telling him, I need a new idea for a new show. Throw me something that I can work on. And that helps. That is also another facet of his, which is beyond the philosophical. He can just conceive something visually and say, try this visually, maybe this will work. And I think that is good too. I don't know, I can stand here and talk. I don't have anything prepared because there is nothing prepared about what this book says. This book is spontaneity. It is everybody's spontaneous thought and DrTPS's spontaneous responses. And that was why I thought that what I say here should also be as spontaneous as I can possibly make it. Which is why I am getting disjointed thoughts that are coming in from various ends and I'm speaking about them. But thank you very much. And I think any of you who hasn't read it should read it today. And carry as many copies as you can. Give it to your children. Tell them to read it once at night. Give it to your colleagues. Say, just look through it. Keep it on your table. Let even the boy who brings in water flip through it. He'll find something. Thank you so much.